we will rebuild our race. In return, I offer a truce.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my full Invincible Season 4, Episode 8 finale video. There are a whole bunch of WTF moments, Easter eggs, so we will break it all down. The Viltrumites are here to bargain. Thragg, we have come to bargain. Right on schedule, we all need to start asking Robert Kirkman where Season 5 is. Where is Season 5, William? The episode is titled Don't Leave Me Hanging Here, which is a reference mostly to the big cliffhanger at the end of the episode with the Viltrumites revealing that they have been living amongst humans in secret this whole time since Mark got back, since before he got back, and they just formed the truce, so now Thragg has ordered them to begin the Great Resurgence from the comics. The Great Resurgence is an intergalactic immigration event in which the Viltrumite refugees, there are 37 of them that Thragg confirms in the episode, resettle on Earth for the singular purpose of acclimating and interbreeding amongst the population to rebuild their decimated empire. So the whole idea is this is going to take them the next 1,000 years, and Mark bargained with them that he will just allow them to do their thing. And one of the big conditions of that bargain is that they won't lift a finger to help Earth if trouble comes along, which it does on a pretty regular basis. So all the Viltrumites are now living like it's constant spring break, like just go have as many partners as possible of the opposite sex, have as many babies as possible. Go ahead and sow your oats, and it kind of seems like General Craig is having the most fun of all the Viltrumites, like he is the quickest to assimilate. He's got his smokes, he found a woman, he has a bike, he is never going to want to go back. This also raises all kinds of other practical questions too, like why wasn't Cecil able to detect 37 Viltrumites running around on planet Earth when he knows exactly where Mark, Oliver, and Omni-Man are at all times when they're even near Earth? While this was all going on too, while they were hiding amongst all the people and Mark just was going about none the wiser, Thragg was also still in the Viltrumite ship looking from orbit, just monitoring the Great Resurgence. So technically it's 36 Viltrumites that are out trying to sow their oats, and Thragg just sitting off on the distance watching it all go down. You have to remember 1,000 years to them is a drop in the bucket. Argyll was 12,000 years old when Thaedus killed him, and he would have continued living for even longer had Thaedus not killed him. But the cold open of the episode starts with a real WTF Mark nightmare about the Viltrumites arriving on Earth and destroying everything, laying waste to all the major cities, everyone he loves, his family, Adam, Eve. It's all he can think about while they're stuck on their long journey home. It takes about 2 weeks to get back and forth between Earth and Telescria. So he's basically been spending all 2 weeks not being able to sleep, just completely hallucinating all these terrible things happening. And they actually tone it down quite a bit from the comics, like it is way more graphic in the comic book and way more intense at the beginning. The way they do them in the episode, they break up his hallucinations across the episode until he finally runs into Thragg. Omni-Man tries to shake him out of it. The reason why he's not as worried about them as Mark is because he knows that Thragg needs Earth badly to repopulate the Viltrumites, so he's not going to go out and destroy, kill everyone the minute that they get there in revenge. As Thragg tells Mark later, I was given the title of Grand Regent of our people to ensure our survival as a race. That is literally his #1 job, next to #2 job, conquer the universe. First make more Viltrumite babies, second, then conquer the universe. And Omni-Man is 100% correct. Thragg made his truce so that they could continue the Great Resurgence. They mostly use Tech Jacket in this early part of the episode for comedic relief. Like if the Viltrumites are on Earth, the joke is that there is no plan, like they don't actually have a plan, just play it by ear and hope that they all don't die and their loved ones don't die. There are a couple more funny moments with Zoe trying to be comedic relief and tell jokes because Mark and Omni-Man don't want to talk, which was also how their trip went down in the comics too. They were not chatty Cathys. Once they get close to Earth, Mark bails on the ship before they can arrive while they're still in the middle of planning what to do in case they find the Viltrumites. Everybody is still tiptoeing around what might happen, thinking that they're going to run into the Viltrumites. And the really big surprise twist is that everything is totally fine. There's no sign of the Viltrumites because they've done their best to hide amongst the people around the world, and they've done a really good job of it. So good that even Cecil doesn't know that they're there. They go home to explain what happened to Debbie, with Mark still hallucinating Thragg pretty much every scene that he's in until Thragg shows up at the end of the episode for real. All the people that he has conversations with, he hallucinates being eviscerated by Thragg, like Thragg either grabbing them, squishing them, just killing them in all kinds of creative ways. Debbie has it out with Omni-Man over the Viltrumite war just in general, Oliver being injured, and they're starting to set up the idea that they might eventually get back together. You see a little bit of that vibe going on at the end of the episode too, when she joins him on the ship to go back to Telestria. Mostly they've changed the pace at which this happens from the comics. In the comics it happens way, way faster. But it is very similar to what happens in the comics, because like in the comics when they come back, she's already broken up with Paul, which she then later tells them like, oh yeah, we broke up months ago, and they've been gone 4 months, meaning that she broke up with Paul pretty quickly. Tech Jacket reunites with her father. They probably have the most positive family relationship of any of the pairs on the show. When she says she doesn't know if the war is over, it's just setting up the conversation with Thragg at the end of the episode where they do actually end the war with the truce. So at the end of the episode, the Viltrumite war is officially over. Not the last time that Viltrumites will fight, or there'll be kind of Viltrumite conflict, just the end of this particular, like this specific Viltrumite war. Mark then goes to see Adam Eve, and this is the show's version of Fathom Eve, as the fandom knows her. She's not quite as big as she gets in the comics, like they toned it down a little bit, but she gained all the weight, mostly from stress. You have to remember it has been months that they were away without anybody on Earth knowing what happened to them, which is why a lot of the different characters who reunite with them are really pissed. Like, what happened? How come you didn't tell us what was going on? They give him the title treatment this time. First, the rest of the pieces break away to reveal flying through space, like the blackness of space, which I think we can now say was meant to represent the Viltrumites coming to Earth flying through space. You blew up our planet, so now this is our planet. Your planet is our planet, as he tells them at the end of the episode. But then the title changes quickly to an all-white background with blue letters. This is actually meant to be a reference to the Flaxens with Robot and Monster Girl's storyline. The colors are the same colors as Flax and Mark's suit during the Invincible War, and the Flaxen suits that Mark usually fights in the main dimension. I think the idea here is that Robert Kirkman is just teasing, oh yeah, we're going to do the Robot and Monster Girl arc, we're going to pick up that storyline in Season 5. We haven't forgotten about, like, they're reminding you that it's a really big deal. My early theory about their storyline is that we'll just learn about what happened in the Flaxen dimension like the other characters learn in the original comics. And it's not like you go and you spend like a ton of episodes in the Flaxen dimension. The characters eventually come back, but because so much time has passed for them, because time goes faster in the Flaxen dimension, they've been there for a very long time, like had many, many adventures, so they recount all of them when they come back, like, oh yeah, while we were gone, this is what happened while we were in the Flaxen dimension. Like all this crap went down in a lot of really messed up stuff happens.
And I'm calling off the search, it's too dangerous. Robot and Monster Girl will have to find their own way home.
But it isn't like a giant info dump that they can just do in a single episode, so they'll probably break up the reveals over a couple of episodes. When Eve says her powers came back, she went back to school, she put Invincible ink on hold. This is also probably because of the abortion, which he learns about later in the episode, why her powers came back, which she also kind of says herself, like, I know why I lost them and I know why I got them back. Pregnancy does all kinds of crazy stuff to her biology. Then we find out that Cecil and the GDA are trying to open a portal to the Flaxen dimension to help rescue Robot and Monster Girl, but they inadvertently open a portal to a random dimension, almost unleashing this giant beast, saying that this is the second time something this crazy has happened earlier this month, calling off the search for them, just leaving to the two of them, Robot and Monster Girl, to find their own way back, which is leading to the events of Season 5, presumably. We go back to Telestria as Alan is being sworn in as the leader of the coalition, and they are all pissed because they also want to know what happened to the Viltrumites and nobody has found them yet, and they want to eradicate them, like Thaedus did. They mostly use this scene to show that Alan is getting used to asserting himself on the council, like his will on the council, but also to set up the idea that post-credit scene with the second perfected Scourge virus and Thaedus' message telling him to use it right now, like immediately use the Scourge virus, kill all the Viltrumites, even if it means technically killing all humans too. That's meant to be the even more messed up part of it too, that Alan knows that he could kill all of the 37 Viltrumites, but it would also theoretically mean killing all humans too, billions upon billions of innocent people. So they really, really want you to wonder, like the show wants you to wonder if Alan is going to use it, but he's a pretty decent guy, so I think it's pretty easy to say that he is not going to try and use it. But hopefully the rest of the coalition does not find out that he has it, because they would definitely try to force his hand or steal it from him and use it themselves on the Viltrumites. Mark then goes back to school with Eve and William and continues to have more hallucinations of the Viltrumites destroying everyone. This time it's Anissa. I love the way they animate her too, looking casually at him, like this really evil looking smile. It feels like it's foreshadowing for season 5. Like it feels like Robert Kirkman is just taunting us. There's a lot of really messed up stuff that happens between Mark and the Viltrumites, just to be as general about it as possible. All the comics were finished a long time ago. You can go read them right now if you don't want to wait for season 5 to find out what everybody is talking about. Paul then tries to convince Debbie to go visit Oliver on Telescria. We also find out they confirmed they've since broken up, but it seems amicable, like they broke up a long time ago, which is something that did happen in the comics. And we finally get our moment of Adam Eve telling Mark about what happened with the baby and the abortion while he was away. Also while he is in the middle of hallucinating Thragg killing her in the most gruesome way possible. What a crazy night Mark is having, like bad news to worse news. The way she told him in the comics was different, but this is all basically what happened in the comics. Like it's the same basic conversation they have. As was the reason why she did it. Basically, she felt like she was alone, she was afraid, and she wasn't ready to have any kind of baby, let alone a superpower baby that could have potentially Viltrumite and her own powers as well too. She had no idea, so she was just too afraid of what this could possibly mean. They also wanted to set up the idea that she had a lot of latent trauma from her upbringing because her family is just so dysfunctional, so it just caused her to have a lot of fears about being a mother herself. But you can let me know, if Mark had still been around, do you think that she would have still kept the baby if Mark had still been on Earth while she was pregnant the whole time? On the spectrum of controversial topics that the Invincible comics do try to tackle, I would put it about mid-range. There are way more controversial things that they will try to address maybe next season or at least by season 6. Omni-Man then goes back to the spot where he almost wound up killing Mark before he left Earth during season 1. Cecil shows up to let him know that he is clocking him while he is in Earth's orbit, and they are definitely not cool yet. He's still very wary of him, who also tells him that there's still almost 40 Viltrumites in hiding, 37 specifically.
But there are still almost 40 of them in hiding somewhere.
I'm sorry. You call that winning?
Cecil, also realizing this for the first time, super pissed off because he had no idea that they were around. Maybe they'll explain how they deal with this next season. They set up the early detection warning grid that Omni-Man put up, so maybe that will help them monitor the Viltrumites, or maybe they just have some special advanced technology that cloaks them from anything that Cecil can do. But at least the way they leave things, Cecil still hates him, but they're kind of frenemies, temporary allies if the GDA potentially needed him, but otherwise doesn't want him around. Then the next morning, Mark's reaction to Eve's admission and to what's happening with the Viltrumites and his hallucinations, like his mental state deteriorating, is also from the comics, the way that he spirals out about everything. This is all just meant to build towards the moment at the end of the episode when he is confronted with actual physical Thragg in front of him. Omni-Man then comes to tell them that he's leaving for Telescria. Debbie surprises him by going with him. She also has their bills covered for a while. Paul's being a dude, offering to help them while she's gone. So generally, it seems like things are pretty chill, at least until ... wait for it, Thragg shows up. Nolan and Debbie kind of having that moment when they're leaving Earth, like I said, is meant to be more teasing of them eventually getting back together, but I think they're pacing this out even slower than it happened in the comics, and it won't be till like the end of season 5 or maybe like season 6, like very slow progression. Part of the idea is that he was trying to sell Debbie on the idea that humans fundamentally believe in the concept of redemption, so theoretically she should believe that it is possible for him to achieve redemption in some kind, and he is trying to redeem himself. He also seemed really excited when she said that she had broken up with Paul, like, oh no, that's terrible, I can't believe that happened, why don't we go spend 2 weeks together on the spaceship? Donald then comes to ask Mark to come back to the GDA so Cecil can debrief him while he's still hallucinating more Thragg, killing more people, and winds up asking them for a legit superhero therapist from their staff. Eve gives him the idea to decompress with just a fly around for relaxation like he's done in previous seasons, and it's exactly then, at the end of that Thragg comes to give him the ultimatum. A truce, allowing the Great Resurgence to proceed, or the Viltrumites will actually destroy Earth, because even though there's only 37, it's still enough to destroy Earth. And it actually winds up being Adam Eve that causes him to say yes. Like he cycles through all those different thoughts like, oh, nope, definitely not going to say yes, definitely not going to say yes. And then boom, lands on her image and it's just like all flowers and floating. And she is like the one weakness, the thing that could get him to do anything. So for better or worse, she is his real weak point, especially after what just happened with their baby. But if it wasn't clear, like I said, Thragg has not been on Earth himself trying to sow his seed with a whole bunch of other women. He's been living on the Viltrumite ship, which is nearby hidden, monitoring the Great Resurgence, just staying in contact with the other Viltrumites. When he speaks for the first time, though, his line is right out of the comics. He says, yes, we are here. But the way it goes down was different because he says it to answer Mark when Mark says, the Viltrumites aren't here, like they're just nowhere around here. And then all of a sudden Thragg shows up and says, no, yes, we are here. The entire montage that plays out of the Viltrumites hiding amongst the humans and showing what they're all doing to hide is also right out of the comics. Lucan becomes a businessman, looks a little bit like Steve Harvey. Anissa is smoking hot and just doesn't chop the dude's heads off that she would normally do for looking at her the wrong way. Remember, she was ordered by Thragg to have as many children as possible, so she's doing everything in her power not to kill every single dude that looks at her.
Your people will never know we are here.
And like I said, Craig seems like of all the Viltrumites, he's the quickest to assimilate. He's just really enjoying himself here. Like he's going to have fun having a lot of partners. So Mark makes the truce. Thragg almost seems surprised. He even frowns a little like, oh man, I was kind of expecting some more resistance. When he says Mark has become the Viltrumite savior, willing or not, he doesn't know how true that statement is going to ultimately wind up being. But there are a couple of the lingering questions about what's going to happen on Earth now, because remember, Damien Darkblood was sent back to the surface world by Satan in order to just keep an eye on things, and it seemed like Satan wanted to take over the surface world again. So how would the Viltrumites react to that if Thragg said that the Viltrumites were going to lift a finger to help the people of Earth even if they needed it? There are also a lot of other threats from the comics and big story arcs that they will adapt for future seasons as well. So they've been renewed as a show through season 5, Robert Kirkman said a while ago, but after that, Amazon will have to renew them for more seasons if they want it to continue. So we will see what happens. My assumption is that they've probably already been soft renewed for season 6. But we're probably getting to the point where Amazon either only renews them for like 1 or 2 seasons at a time, or they wait a little bit longer to renew them so they can still keep up their cadence, but they're not going to give them like an additional 10 seasons like Rick and Morty style where they're like, okay, you can do 100 more seasons. But Robert Kirkman made it sound like he did want to continue doing Invincible seasons until the heat death of the universe, and he was still determined to make the live-action Invincible movie. The last panel that he did that I attended, he was adamant that the movie was still happening, the live-action movie, but we will see what goes down with it. The way he talked about it made it sound like it was not a big priority for Amazon, and if it does happen, it's going to be several years before it happens. I wouldn't be surprised if they wait till after the animated series has wrapped up before they try a live-action movie. You can all let me know if you'd rather see a live-action Invincible movie while they're still working on the series in successive seasons, or if you're fine waiting longer if that's what it takes to actually get it done and done right. Because the longer that goes on, the better special effects get. And a long time ago, Robert Kirkman made it seem like he was casting voice actors that could also play the characters in live action, but the more time passes, the less that will be the case, with the exception of a couple characters. Like, for instance, J.K. Simmons would be a great Omni-Man, but if enough time goes by, he'd actually be better as, like, Thaedus. Stephen Yeun and Gillian Jacobs probably won't be able to play the younger, teenage versions of the characters either, so they would have to recast a lot of the main roles. My other big hope now that The Boys TV series is also ending its main series, they will be able to do an animated crossover between The Boys and Invincible at some point if they are looking for extra episodes to do way down the line. Robert Kirkman has talked a little bit about this phenomenon too, because there's so many crazy crossovers with other big comic book brands like Spawn crossovers, Savage Dragon crossovers, even the Spider-Man Marvel crossovers that were much easier for him to get done in animation, particularly in the early to mid 2000s when he was originally writing these comics, than it is to actually do it on a TV show or a movie, for instance. Like, it is an absolute nightmare with TV rights. This is also the reason why they couldn't do a legit Marvel Spider-Man crossover during the animated version of the episode. But they were able to get Josh Keaton to play a version of a character who was very much like a Spider-Man. TLDR on that is that lawyers always ruin everybody's fun. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, and if you spotted any Easter eggs or references to the comics or anything else in the episode that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments. We will see if Robert Kirkman or anybody else behind the show talks a little bit more about Season 5 and what their more specific plans are for adapting things. Robert Kirkman did say they would continue doing that thing of adding episodes that weren't in the original comic, like the episode where he went to hell to help the devil regain his throne and Bruce Campbell had a big cameo scene. We'll see more of that kind of stuff. Not necessarily devil-based episodes, but episodes that weren't in the original comics. So we'll see what they add for Season 5 and Season 6. Everybody click here for all my Invincible episodes, and click here for all my other big episodes from this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.